How's it going, everyone? If you're looking to get into Flesh and Blood, look no further than LSS's Armory Deck Bolton, the latest Armory deck that's going to be hitting the store sometime next week or so. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with how this deck shaped up. It has some very solid equipment pieces without requiring any legendaries whatsoever, which are usually the main thing that stops people from getting into the game, because the legendaries can be a little bit on the pricey side. Well, a lot of these pieces, they are kind of on par with legendaries, and some of these are even better. So what this deck wants to do is it wants to build up towards a Lumin Ascension combo. This one says if you charge this turn, you may attack an additional turn with each weapon you control. And then until the end of turn, weapons you control gain +1 power, and if it hits, you can reveal the top card. If it's like it goes into your soul, and you gain 1 life. So what is charging, you may ask? Well, charging is something that pretty much every attack in the deck has, which is something like this. When you play Engulfing Light, you may charge Hero Soul. You put a card from your hand face up under your hero card. So the way this works is you attack a bit in the early game, you get a bunch of cards into your soul, and then once you do, you have, let's say, like 3 or 4 cards in there. You want to play 1 or 2 or even 3 Lumin Ascensions, which will give a power bonus to your weapon, and then allows you to attack in with your weapon multiple times, because this one attacks in against +3 if you've charged, +1 for each Lumina, so this can go up to 6 power for 0 cost. And then by activating Bolton's ability, you can banish a card from your hero soul, target attack with power greater than its base, which the Raiden will definitely have, will gain go again. So playing 3 Luminas, then attacking in with the Raiden means you can swing with the Raiden 4 times in a row for 6 power. That's insane value that no other deck in Flesh and Blood has. It does require a lot of setup, as you might see, like you need to keep playing these weaker attacks to charge your hero soul early on, but then eventually once you're set up, you're just ready to start face rolling the opponent with a barrage of attacks that they can't really do anything about. So if I look at this deck, this one that I put together earlier today, it's a upgraded Armory deck where I have a couple of sections. So we have the main deck that I left untouched. These are the cards that are in the Armory deck that I think are definitely worth keeping in here. Like some of them would of course be in the sideboard, like the Sting Belows, but these are all very solid cards, especially if you're starting out. You will be very happy to have these. Then I have the inventory here where I put all the cards that I think are worth putting in here as an upgrade. You don't need to get all of these at once. The most important ones I will go over in a little bit. And then we have the maybe board over here. Like these are cards that are definitely good. They're not bad cards. However, I do think that there are stronger cards available, and that's why I took these out, added a bunch of these other cards in, and you should have a much stronger, competitively viable deck. So what are the cards that I do think are a must-have in the deck? Well, first of all, since the main thing that we're trying to be setting up is the Lumin Ascension combo, you want to get yourself a playset of Beacon of Victory. So this one says an additional cost to play Beacon of Victory, banish X card from your hero's soul. So by banishing 1 card, the target attack gains +1 power, and then it says if you've charged this turn, which you always have, if you're attacking you're probably going to be charging, you can search your deck for an action card with cost X or less, reveal it and put it into your hand. So if you banish 1 card, you can search for something that costs 1 or less. Well, guess what? The Lumin Ascension, they cost 0. So by playing your Beacon of Victory, you can fetch your Lumin Ascension straight from the deck, either putting it into Arsenal, but in the best case scenario, you want to be playing this going into a multiple Lumin Ascension turn. So this essentially means that you're now running 6 copies of this card in your deck. It does require you to banish a card from your hero's soul, so you do need plenty of things in the soul to give go again to your weapons, but this is just a must-have card that you must get no matter what. It's just too important not to have, because it makes your pop-off combo turn so much more consistent. Secondly, Centauri Sabers. So you might say, like, why would I want to run Centauri Sabers? These cost 1 to attack in with, and they only have 2 power here, so that doesn't seem all that good. Well, the thing is, by having the Centauri Sabers in combination with a Curse of Lethal, Curse of Lethal says action destroy Curse of Lethal, your sword attacks cost 1 less this turn. That means that the Centauri Sabers are now free to swing. This is good because having the Centauri Sabers means that you have 2 weapons, and if you combine that with, for example, playing 2 Lumin Ascensions, these give an additional swing to each weapon you control. So by playing 2 Luminas, that means that now we're swinging the Sabers 3 times in a single turn. which is just absolutely phenomenal, because even if you play only 2 of these, and because there's so many people blocking with attack action cards that make blocking awkward, these are going to be swinging in for 4 or 5 damage each. You can continuously keep giving them a go again. With Bolton's activated ability, and when they do hit, you're going to be recharging your soul thanks to the on-hit of Lumin Ascension as well. So I think these 2 pieces together, you just need to have them. It just makes the deck so much more powerful. And we have some charging cards that I think are quite important. The Bolt of Courage, Engulfing Light, and Take Flight Blue. They just make the deck more consistent in my experience. And then we have a couple of cards here that I do think they are nice to have, but not a really must-have to have kind of situation. For example, the Banner of Courage has Soul Flare. Once it's charged into the area of Soul, you get a Courage token. A Courage token is this thing right there. When you play an attack card activated weapon attack, destroy this, and the attack gets +1. So that's kind of nice, because it makes sure that whatever you attack in with already has the +1 bonus, so that you can activate Bolton attack reaction to give a go again if you do want to go into combo turn. So that's kind of nice right there. Then we have Bolting Blade and Celestial Cataclysm. Celestial Cataclysm is a nice finisher because you banish 3 cards from your store, which you have more than plenty of after you went into your combo turn. And they have a very sweet 7 with go again that doesn't cost anything. So I do think Celestial Cataclysms are kind of relevant, a little bit on the pricey side, but I think it's a very good inclusion. And then we have the Bolting Blades. The Bolting Blades are not that important because they still cost 2 to swing with if you only charge once in a turn. So it's not all that great. However, being a 7 power attack does mean that it's a very good thing to block phantasms with if you're up against things like Illusionist. So that's where these are kind of powerful. And we have Soul Shield. Soul Shield does cost 2 to be able to play it. However, the main thing, if you defend with this, and when the combat chain closes, you can put Soul Shield into your Hero's Soul, which means that you accelerate the number of cards that you have in your soul while keeping your life total very high. So when you do have to take a full turn beating so that you can go into your combo turn, you already have more things in your soul. Hail of Illumination and the Null Rune Gloves. These are nice to have if you're up against Kano specifically, because Kano doesn't use physical attacks, and then having these does allow you to put something in your soul, and it allows you to have some Arcane Barrier 1, which is very good because if they go into a full uncombo turn, you can use the Spell Void in order to block some of the damage, and then using your Null Rune to block another damage to stop the combo a little bit. And by doing so, you can maybe stay alive long enough that if it is your turn, you can finish them off with the big combo or something like that. So I do think these 2 are kind of good to have. Sensor and Amulet of Echoes, I think these are kind of a must-have for Zen at the moment, because Zen is one of the best decks in the format, so it's nice to have them in the sideboard for that particular matchup, but you don't really need to have these 2. I think all the other pieces are far more important to pick up in the first place. There's one more piece that I now see I didn't add in here that I should have in here, which is the Gallantry Gold. So this one says for a 1 cost, you can destroy the Gallantry Gold and your weapons gain +1 power. It's very good in combination with the Centauri Sabers in particular, because by playing this one, now your sabers are already coming in for 3, so with 2 Luminas, that means that these are swinging for 5 damage, making the combo turn even more powerful. I will probably trim down one of the snatches, let's do it like so that we can make space for the card, because we have a lot of very good cards to have in the main deck anyway. So with the Gallantry Gold in here, I think these are all the cards that I think are very important to pick up for the Bolton decks. If you're eventually going into competitive play, you can always look at picking something up like a Fiendal Spring Tuning in the future, or something like Command and Conquer or One Mongoose Diplomacy, which are all very expensive cards, but that I personally feel you don't need when you're just starting out. Like, just for reference, if you had the Scandal Spring Tuning alongside the Command and Conquers in your deck, it's only adding roughly like 0.5 to 1% win rate to your deck. Definitely significant, especially in a high stakes competitive environment. If you have something that can increase your odds by 1%, then you want to be running that, obviously. However, since there are so many matchups where you're not even running the tuning and you'll be running the Crucial Blade anyway, the impact of the tuning becomes a lot less already. and there's even less matchups where you would be wanting to run the Command and Conquers as well. So I just don't think it's worth it. Against most matchups, having these cards pretty much gives you all the tools that you need to be able to have a very good time in general. I think that's all I have to say for today. If you want to support the channel and you like videos like this, you can do so by joining my Patreon over on patreon.com/GuganiGaming. I do offer deck help and coaching on there as well. I'll soon be putting a fully updated competitive Bolton guide on there, so keep an eye out for that. I do need to fine-tune a couple more things before I put that list on there, but it should be done in about a week or so from now. I hope this video was useful, and I will see you all soon with another Flesh and Blood video. Take care.